really want to applaud Herpa when they add details. But when they add details and then make it wrong, oh my god, it's so frustrating. What that's all about, we'll find out now. Hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at an Airbus A220-300 of Air Canada. At the front of the box we have the cutout so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft model inside, and on top of the box we have the Air Canada branding. Then on the back side of the box we unfortunately have another cutout, and I've said it so many times, I really do not like that. Herpa, please change your boxes. They look cheap and they are not protective of the model. And here she is, the Airbus A220-300 in the current livery of Air Canada, a model I've been looking forward to quite a lot, not just because it would match perfectly with my airport updates from Philadelphia Airport, but also because I just think the Air Canada livery on the A220 looks really nice. So, with no further ado, let's take a closer look and see what this aircraft model has to offer. And we start off with the tail section, where we on the vertical stabilizer find the iconic Air Canada branding with the Canadian maple leaf. And on top of the stabilizer we then have three numbers. That's an internal registration code of the airline. And then on the fuselage we have the Canadian flag, the full registration code of the aircraft, the aircraft type specification. On top of the fuselage we then have the addition of this lovely sat dome, although I think it might be a little bit too big, but it's still alright. And then at the very back of the aircraft we also have a little bit of detailing around the APU exhaust. And then at the front of the aircraft across the fuselage we have the writing of Air Canada and the Air Canada branding, and we also have a Star Alliance logo, of which Air Canada is a founding member. Then as always, details around the cockpit section are scarce with Herpa Wings in scale 500, but the details that we have are the black markings around the cockpit windows that are of course part of the current Air Canada livery. Then we have the window wipers printed on, some nice markings around the edges of the cockpit windows, and above the cockpit windows we then also find the emergency hatch for the cockpit has been printed on as well. Now the engine nacelles have been kept in all black and have this lovely silver leading edge. And if we look into the engines from the front, we can see very nicely the engine fan blades, so I should be happy, right? Unfortunately, no, because let's go back to the nacelle. Notice this little metallic stripe? I thought, hey, Herpa has added a little detail. It's not much, but it's a new detail, why not? Notice it on the other side? No, it's not there. It's on the inner side. But why? Well, either I have two left engines or two right engines. In any case, Herpa has messed up. And obviously you might have this model and not have the issue whatsoever. This is simply a classic example of Herpa quality control failing. Someone in the production line just has no clue what they're doing and no one caught up with it. Very disappointing. But before I get too enraged, let's move on. If we look here on the fuselage just above the wings, we have the emergency exit printed on, and that of course leads us straight to the wings, which we definitely should also take a look at, because here Herpa has actually done rather nicely. If we take a look here at the top side, we can see the different flap slats and spoilers carved out very nicely. We also have the markings for the emergency exit. Also the underside I think looks rather decent, and then we have these lovely little winglets where we also have the Air Canada branding on the inner side. I think that is very nicely looking. Then we also have the landing gear here, the main landing gear underneath the wings, and while that is maybe not the most nimble landing gear Herpa has ever put on an aircraft, I think it works quite okay, especially the main landing gear. The front landing gear could definitely shrink a little bit and look nicer, but overall I think it is alright. And what I really like is actually that Herpa has actually added a few details here. If you look here underneath the nose, you can see they have definitely added something. I can't quite make out what the print is, but they have printed something, which I'm always happy about. Also the belly of the aircraft, there we have the Air Canada branding again, but we also have a few other small details printed on, including what I believe could be the landing lights. But in any case, it's rather rare that they actually add these small printed details, and I think it's really awesome when they do. And also when we look at the doors to the cargo compartments, it's not just the outer edges of those that they have printed on, they have actually added a little bit of detailing, which is really lovely. More of that please, Herpa, more of that. So there we have it, the Airbus A220-300 in the current livery of Air Canada. And what can we say about this aircraft model? Overall, I'm quite happy with it. I mean, Herpa has added a few extra details in the print, which we normally don't get, which is lovely. The physical details, maybe except for the front ending gear being a little bit too big, is also good. I'm really unhappy with the engines. I know it's a very small detail, but for me it's just such a typical thing where they actually add something and then mess it up, and it's so easy to fix. They just need to take care in production, and they clearly didn't. So it's for me a little bit of a mixed bag. I was really looking forward to this model, and maybe I'm putting too much into this with the engines. I realized that, and again, you might not have this issue with the engines whatsoever, and in that case I would say absolutely it's an aircraft worth having in one's collection, but I would however recommend before buying it just to take a particularly good look at the engines, just to make sure that you won't have this issue. Now with that, we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like, that would be very much appreciated, and of course if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe, that would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching, hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.